things were difficult. And, my experience was, I got to a point where I was like, I've had enough. Like, I've suffered so much, was fainting, intense pain in the body. I had all sorts of different symptoms, wasn't sleeping, like literally not a wink.
Wow.
I had urinary symptoms, like just like all sorts of random things that all just came like straight like that. I've had enough of this life and something needs to change. And that's when I found your program. Now I've done a lot of cool things. So traveling around the world, doing long hikes, 5-6 hours straight in the bush, going to Alice Springs, being able to live independently was a massive thing. So being able to manage that and, I run a business, got my clinic, I traveled so much and continue to do so. I think I've got the travel bug at the moment. Yeah.
Life's pretty good.
Yeah.
Ahil Ganesan.
Toby.
My man. I can't believe that we're here today in person when it was only, how long ago? 5 years ago?
5 years.
5 years ago, you came to see me for your chronic fatigue syndrome, and your life was completely different. Like you weren't really living, you couldn't do much. Life was put on hold basically. And we've just spent the last 3 days together in Noosa here at the headquarters, just having a great time from 6 a.m. in the morning till 8 p.m. at night with all of our team members. You're one of the team members here at CFS Health now. You're one of our health coaches, and you're helping people all around the world and doing some amazing work in your own right as well. What's it feel like to be here right now?
That's very difficult to answer.
Why?
I just don't have words. We were talking before, and one thing that Julie mentioned was like, there's so many layers to this. Us being here over the past 3 days, like there's so many layers. We've all had our own struggles with recovery. Some of us 5 years, some people 15, 20 years, where things were difficult. And, my experience was, I got to a point where I was like, I've had enough. Like, I've suffered so much. It wasn't that I was suicidal, but it was just like, like God, universe, like I've just suffered so much, I've had enough. So that's just one layer. And let alone like, the experience of being a coach with CFS Health for the past 3 years, watching hundreds and thousands of people recover. Some of those people here today working with CFS Health as well as momentum coaches and mentors. So that's just another layer.
True.
And then let alone, our experience these past 3 days, hanging out with everyone, talking, the vision, different ways, and all with the focus of how can we be of service to help people around the world who are suffering as we did. So there's so many layers to it. So it's like, what's it like being here? It's hard to put into words.
For people at home who don't know this, 90% of the people who work at CFS Health have gone through chronic fatigue syndrome themselves. So it's a large amount of number of people who are now trained in their own expertise, and they're now giving back to through CFS Health to the people of the world who are suffering with chronic fatigue syndrome right now. It's a special, unique situation, and I think that's why we're so different to everybody else, But let's go down the memory lane of you and your story. Before we met, what happened? What was going on?
So for me, I was essentially pushing my body to the limit in so many ways. I was studying traditional Chinese medicine full-time. I'd opened my practice as a naturopath. I was training 6 days a week, bodybuilding. I was partying 6 days a week as well.
I cannot imagine you partying.
I've come a long way, that's for sure.
You like meditate every day now.
Yeah.
And, you know, yeah.
So different. That was just some of the stuff I was doing, just non-stop. And people around me would be like, you know, like, oh, he'll like calm down. Like, you got to chill. My best friends, still my best friends to this day.
Wow.
We're like, you need to chill. I was like, nah, don't worry about it. Like, I'm young, I got stuff to do. So that eventually kind of got to a point where literally overnight, you know, I remember I got to a point I'd pushed myself too much, just running on adrenaline for who knows how long, months, years, living in that way, not having the ears to listen to everyone around me who was telling me, you know, just chill. And then it got to a point where I was like, I think, I fainted that night. And then the next day I woke up and I'm like, something's just not right. Something just feels really off. But then I just was in that mode, same thing, running on adrenaline. So just kept doing the same thing, studying, working in clinic, training. But then it was like I started fainting all the time and I just had this off feeling.
Yeah, right.
So I'm just like, what is going on? Like, what? Like, just like chalk and cheese, you know, normally I'll be like full of energy, you know, talking 100 miles a minute, running on adrenaline really, as I know now. But just push, and then just started getting more and more symptoms. So it was fainting, you know, intense pain in the body. You know, I had all sorts of different symptoms, wasn't sleeping, like literally not a wink.
Wow.
You know, I had urinary symptoms, like just like all sorts of random things that all just came like straight like that. And then I was like that for a bit and just knowing something is way off, especially because I was fainting. I couldn't function. So then I went and saw my teacher, my actual lecturer, acupuncturist. Shout out to Matthew Goss. A lot of respect. And he pretty much told me, he's like, you've got chronic fatigue syndrome.
Wow.
And so in one way I was kind of lucky that I didn't go through the whole Western medicine side of things, and that my teacher identified quite quickly. He's like, you're burnt out. You've pushed your body to the limit. And that's where it all started.
Wow. What was your biggest challenge before joining the program?
There was like a missing bridge between, because my teacher, he's a very, very wise guy, was showing me like what I need to do. But he hadn't had chronic fatigue himself. He'd had a different health journey. And he was pretty clearly telling me what to do, but I couldn't implement it. You know, he was giving me like little elements, but I couldn't implement it. So maybe I had like mild improvements, but I was still just push and crash. And I was seeing, you know, my teacher twice a week for acupuncture.
Wow. Okay.
For that whole year before I joined CFS Health. So he was giving me all the time, like telling me, you know, what I should do, what he's done for other people, helping them with guidance. More so than the actual acupuncture treatment, it was that wisdom and teaching he was imparting. But I was just like, it wasn't clicking. So, and then I stumbled upon you on YouTube.
Right.
And I was like, there's something here, like, there's something that really rings a bell. And it makes a lot of sense, but I still couldn't implement it.
With the free trainings and all of that.
With the free trainings, especially the stuff on YouTube. And there was like an hour-long YouTube video on the CFS Health page as well. And, you know, I watched your videos for quite a while. And then I was like, all right, I need to jump in the program.
What made you feel like, was it just the fact that you couldn't implement the stuff on your own? You were like, I just need actual guidance, like proper and practical guidance? Like, what was the thing that was like, fine, I'm going to do it?
I've had enough of this life and something needs to change. I don't know what's going to get me there. You know, my parents spent a lot of money on acupuncture, Chinese medicine, you know, seeing different things, and nothing's towing the line.
Now, your parents are doctors, is that right?
Mum's a GP.
Mum's a GP as well. So like that would have been super challenging for her to watch as well, you know, from a medical standpoint.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if she could hack it. Like, I don't know if she could really understand what was happening. Like, I don't even understand how a parent can process that.
Exactly.
So I think some days mum would just be like, what's going on? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, get up. But then also, of course, mum has a lot of empathy and compassion. But I think mum just couldn't compute it.
Makes sense. Did you have any hesitations before joining the program? Like, did you have any hesitations of like, is this going to work? Like, what if this is a scam? Like, was there no hesitation at all? Zero?
Zero hesitation.
Why? That's really rare.
Because for me, I normally only take decisions when I'm like 100%. So, I'd watch your YouTube videos for a long time, for a year, pretty much shortly after I realized I had CFS.
Yeah.
So I was like, trying to get an understanding, trying to see how I can work with what you've been sharing free. I'm like, no, I need to do the program. I need accountability and need the guidance. So when I jumped in, first we had a chat, that 15-minute chat.
Yeah.
And then mum was there and you talked to mum as well, and just that genuine care came across, even with the YouTube videos, but then having a chat to you, it's like, yeah, it's genuine.
This makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. No, that's cool. It is rare though. Like, yeah, but like you said, you're one of those people that just makes decisions 100%, and until that moment, you're not going to decide. I like that. That's smart. What changed for you when you joined the program? Like, was there a felt sense of like when you joined after that conversation? What changed?
There was so many mixed emotions at the time, but I knew I'm going to get better.
Wow.
I knew I'm going to get better. But so many mixed emotions. At the same time, there's thinking like, am I that unique case? I've got urinary symptoms. I don't know people with chronic fatigue who get urinary symptoms. I'm fainting. I don't know if other people faint. Thinking I'm that unique situation.
How'd you get past that? Because that's a really common thing. Like, what made you get past that pigeonholing yourself into a category of maybe because you're different, it's not going to work?
A proof is in the pudding at the end of the day. Like, with all of those ideas being there, I was still like, I'm in this program, I'm giving it a crack.
Yep.
With doubts, overwhelm, worries, misunderstanding or not resonating with particular things as well that were shared. Or like in the thing, like, I just like persisted.
So you joined the program. What made you believe that you were going to get better? Was it just because everyone else around you could see proof of other people getting better in the group?
It just made sense.
Yeah.
The trainings there was something behind it that made sense that I didn't find anywhere else in the world, including other coaching and even my teacher. There was just some element, and that was because you were sharing from your experience of recovery. And that element of this person has done it. They've walked this same journey. Many people with chronic illnesses, different types, I can see they're on journeys. But when someone has walked that exact same journey, that same condition, and is sharing from a place of genuineness, that is very, very special, and made me listen, made me actually like, how can I understand this? How can I implement this?
Yeah. Some people borrow hope, but I feel like you didn't need to borrow it. It was like you just needed to know it. Like, you're more of an introspective type of person. You don't need much outside influence to decide what's right for you and wrong for you. It's like you just need to know within yourself, and then you do it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. Self-led. When you got into it and, we helped you with everything, what were like three of the of kind of the biggest needle movers for you, like over the year and a bit that we worked together? What was like, I know the first answer you're going to say, but like, because now you teach it and, you know, you're amazing at it, but what were 3 standout things for you in the program that made the most tremendous, you know, useful changes in yourself and your life and your health?
First one would be understanding baseline. Baseline theory, the baseline training's absolutely the most important thing.
In a nutshell, what was that for you? Like, if you could say it out loud for baseline, because some people don't even know what that means.
It can't be said because it takes experimenting. And this is why it took time. It took me time.
But basically, baseline's really about stopping the push-crash cycle.
It's stopping and that was the second thing I was going to say, is stopping push and crash was the most impactful thing. And both of those things are directly interrelated.
Correct.
Yeah. So, yeah, baseline, the 3 most impactful things: baseline training, pushing and crashing, the training around that.
What helped you stop pushing and crashing? Like, I know it was the baseline training, but like for you, what were some of the things that you started to do or not do that helped you solidify your baseline and enable you to create stability?
I had to really...
Because it's hard.
I had to really own my shit, to put it in a way. I had to really own my situation. Because the thing is, before, I'd come from such an extreme place.
Yes.
You know, for example, training 6 days a week. You know, I'd put on 15, 20 kilos, bodybuilding. And I'm a slim guy anyway.
Yeah, you are, yeah.
So I'd put on heaps of muscle. So I had an identity in that. So learning this information, I got to a point where I realized I have to let my body decondition in order to move forward.
Wow.
I had to lose, and literally I remember looking at the scales and watching those kilos come off over time.
Yeah.
People around me were like, literally like, what is wrong with you? Like, I remember like hearing people say, oh my God, he's lost so much weight. And that was so difficult emotionally, but I knew it was the right thing to do.
Wow.
Because until I owned that, I would not be able to move forward in recovery. I couldn't go from an hour of training to 10 minutes of training.
Yeah.
I was struggling with just basic walking. So it took me a bit of time in the program to really be able to own that, take self-responsibility and realize that what I need to do in order to move forward.
Let go of your old identity to build the new one.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't even about building an identity, it's just letting go of my identity.
Yeah. Wow. I actually didn't know that about you, about the bodybuilding stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't suit you anyway. Like, you're the perfect way. You know what I mean? Like, how you are is like perfect.
And my perception of life is so different now.
Yeah.
You know, for me, just being happy and healthy, sure, I can train, I can go to the gym if I want to, but my priorities are different now.
Yeah. Fascinating. Okay, so like letting go of old identity, super important, which is kind of like acceptance as well, tied in together. What else kind of helped you create that stability over the long term?
Accountability.
Tell me about
that was a big thing. So that's
accountability. I'll mention something that you probably know I'm going to talk about, but yeah, talk about accountability for a second.
Yeah, for me, accountability is a massive thing because the thing is, in the program, like I'll be honest, like a lot of parts of the program stress me out, like the mindset stuff.
Okay, mindset work.
So I realized that a lot of the program actually, I'm not ready for that yet.
Yeah.
But one thing was the accountability, posting the Friday wins. It sounds very, very simple and basic, but that was one thing that I was consistent with.
Yep, so important.
Just a win or a learning.
Yep, checking in every single week.
Just to check in and paying the money. My parents were paying the money, but I'm like, paying in hindsight was one of the biggest things because I take it seriously.
We had a call probably, I don't know, halfway through the program. You're doing really well. And you were like, oh, Toby, I'm thinking about leaving. And I said, why do you want to leave? And you said, I just think I don't need it anymore, so I'm going to leave. And so you left, which was fine. You know, it's your decision. We had a good chat about it. And I think a few months later, you decided to come back.
Yep.
And you reached out to me and said, can I come back? I really miss it. I miss the accountability and I want the help. And I said, what part of you misses the accountability? And you said, when I pay attention. And I stopped paying attention. And I thought, wow, what a smart guy to like have this self-awareness to realize that when you pay and you invest in yourself, you have to, you're way more likely to show up for yourself and take something useful moving forwards. And so that's what you did, yeah?
Yes, exactly that.
Yeah. And so when you came back into the program, what was that last piece for you that helped you the most? Because there was like kind of another, I guess, growth journey in the later stages for you.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like, it was definitely a journey even being within the program. Like there's levels to this. The stuff that I kind of put to the side early on where I was like, this triggers me, it's not useful for me, I don't want to know this stuff, was actually really important in the later stages. So as I'm getting back into life, I've got my baseline sorted, I'm not in survival mode, and as my baseline increase, my symptoms came down. The first thing was like I stopped fainting and then some of the pain went down and then it was like, then I started being able to sleep because at the start I wasn't sleeping at all, which was, that's difficult as well. Up to the point where it was like I recovered literally all my symptoms resolved with baseline.
It's interesting that you say it like that. Like, so one of the philosophies here at CFS Health is like, as your health goes up, your symptoms go down, right? And you don't know it until you live it. Like people don't like it. It's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But until you're living it and you start to notice all these symptoms start to fade away, it's like, oh, this is actually working. I think you did it really smart with the program, like not bombarding yourself with too much too early and like taking the pressure off, and because you did do it your way. Like I feel like that's one thing that really stood out for you is like,
definitely.
You're like, no, I'm not going to do all of the program right now. I'm just going to stay focused on my baseline and my weekly accountability checking in. That is all or nothing else. But like you said, in the latter stages, it was like letting go of that and working on integrating back into life. And then we're talking about study, career. What do you want to do for work? What types of people do you want to work with? And you started doing, naturopathy and Chinese medicine. And that was an exciting time for you.
Yes.
It was like you were reborn.
Yeah.
Do you tell us about that experience?
Yeah. I mean, like just speaking to what you said before, I tried different ways of doing the program. And this is, I think, the most important thing for members to understand is it's about experimenting. For me, I tried things. I'm always at the start, I tried, being an everything, watching all the training and then realized, oh my God, it's too much. Then I tried taking the pressure off. I tried pushing myself. Oh my God, I've crashed. I tried doing less. I feel okay. So it does take time. It took me, I would say, about 3 months to get a rough idea of what I needed at that point. And then it was just progress from there. And then there was different learnings.
What was it like when I actually remember this, when you started working again? Do you remember that?
What was it like when I started working again?
Like when you had to put the suit and tie on and you went into your clinic and you started working again.
It's such an interesting thing, this stage where people get to in chronic fatigue, where you're back in life, but you're not fully recovered. It's like it's really hard to put into words. You're like two people. You're like this, for lack of a better term, you're this sick person who's been through so much suffering, unbearable experience in life. And then you're also like at work living what seems like a normal, same life. So when going back into life and integrating back into life, those identities are both so together. And so it's a really weird place to be.
Yeah.
But because being in a field of where I can help people, it felt so inspiring and honoured to do that because I'd been in such a bad place.
Yeah.
And now coming out of that and straight away being able to be of service. It was a funny place, but it was a really special place to be. And I found I got so much out of that.
Yes.
And it just inspired me in my life.
Even more. I always say
A lot.
part of healing is helping other people.
Yeah.
At the later stages.
Yeah.
And it's obviously great that that's what you do for a job too. And that's why we call it lifestyle, integrating back into life, because there is a period of integration, which takes time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And tell us where you're at now. Like, let's fast forward, a few years. Let's talk about the phone call that I reached out to you. So you were like, you obviously left the program, you were flying, you were going great after you rejoined the second time. How long were you in the program for total? Was it 2 years?
I think it was about 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
Yeah.
So 2 years had gone, you left the program, you were doing great, you were working naturopathy and Chinese medicine. And I'm watching you from the side, like on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm always supporting, members and past members, and I love watching people's journey. And then I was like, I need a coach, because we're always looking on the lookout for good coaches. And then I thought to myself, Ahil Ganesan might be a fantastic coach. Might. Wasn't sure, but I thought might. And I called you. Do you remember that conversation?
Yeah, I do. I think I was at my clinic, yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember that conversation.
Yeah. And I was like, hey, what are you doing? You're like, oh, I'm just working at my clinic. I'm like, do you like it? He's like, I love it. I'm like, do you want to come and work for CFS Health as well and help, people get their life back? And instantaneously you were like, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thought that was through my mind was like, why me? For me, I was that person in the program. I wouldn't attend many calls. I wasn't very active in the program.
Mm-hmm.
I just took what I needed and then disappeared.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Like there's no right way.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
is what we say. Like we always say, there's no right way to use the program. You use it the right way for you.
Find how, make it work for you.
Exactly.
So at the first thought, I was like, yes, because I love CFS Health.
Yeah.
But also why me? And yeah, it was a very humbling and gratifying and honoured moment for me to be asked that. As there has been many moments while I was in the program and in the years since. My life is so much like that now. Because, some people don't get a second chance at life. Some people say you've got cancer or something like that. You go through a lot of suffering and then you pass away. You don't get another chance at life. So with chronic fatigue recovery, I didn't know at the time whether if I was going to survive or not. It got to a point where I'm like, God, universe, if I'm meant to go, let it be. If I'm supposed to be here, let it be. And I kind of got the chance at life again, and it's pretty awesome because it's like Aheel 2.0, not the life that I kind of just lived by way of just whatever, being a leaf in the wind when you're young, running around doing, city life. But it's I have a chance to live a life that I want to live. And that's why even that was a big thing when I first started going back to work. It's I'm doing that same job, but I'm not that same person. I'm just humble and so grateful to be here. And that's when I got that call from you. It was just another experience of that. One, I'm just so grateful to be alive. And to have a second chance at life. But then to be a coach, I'm humbled and I'm honoured.
And we feel that. And, you've helped thousands of people now. It's been years since you've been working with us. And we call you the baseline guru because that's what people come to you for straight away when they join the program. They get to hang out with you for a couple of months to make sure that they get their baseline right. They stop pushing, crashing. give us a snapshot of like, you know, some cool things that you've done in your life in the last few years, just off the cuff.
Some cool things. Oh, I've done.
I mean, traveling the world, like India.
That's a big one. I've done a lot of cool things. So yeah, traveling around the world, doing long hikes, you know, 5-6 hours straight in the bush, you know, going to Alice Springs.
Yeah.
You know, being able to live independently was a big thing.
Yeah.
You know, from not being able to.
Not just solo, but like financially too.
Yeah. In so many ways, and loving life.
Yeah.
So independence was a massive thing. So being able to manage that, and, you know, I run a business, got my clinic, I traveled so much and continue to do so. I think I've got the travel bug at the moment.
Yeah. Maybe England next.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
See what happens. Yeah, planning on going to China hopefully next January, spend some time there, check out the hospitals and things like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Life's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm also aware that, you know, everything can change. Things can change like that. You know, seeing it in clinic as well, people healthy and then all of a sudden things are taken away. You know, life comes, life goes. So I'm always aware that, you know, anything can change and that's okay. But that's why nowadays I just feel like every day, and it sounds almost like a cliche, like I feel so grateful for every day, these little things that I couldn't do before. You know, members have said, you know, they feel so grateful for like the sun because they were bedbound for years in a dark room. So for me, every time when I'm walking now, I'm just like, I just really like this because I remember a time where I couldn't walk.
What's your favourite thing about coaching at CFS Health and helping people?
Just fun. It's a lot of fun. And I like, you know, I live a fairly simple, basic life. I'm kind of boring that way, but I love it. And a lot of these principles, like with baseline, is very simple, practical advice that I still apply in my life to this day. Simple things like, you know, just focusing on what's essential for you. And, you know, for me, what's essential might be a 10-hour workday. But at a basic level, people coming into recovery, you know, what's essential for you today? You know, do you need to just focus on getting some healthy food today? You know, maybe showering is not essential for you. Maybe you want to shower once every 3 days. So being able to share this very deep, but also very practical and simple wisdom, I love to see it. And then it's also so nuanced. You know, members are struggling in their own way. Some people are living by themselves. Some people have parents to look after, kids to look after, and everyone's in their own unique position. So that's another thing, is being able to be on the calls and also chat to people. Some of these people have been stuck for years, decades, but being able to identify what they're struggling with, address that, and then 2 weeks later they'll be in a different place and they have another challenge to deal with. So being able to identify that, you know, in that early period, the first 2 months of people's recovery, it's a lot of fun, it's super rewarding, and members get a lot out of it.
As a past member, for those who are, you know, thinking about the program or they're skeptical about the program, what would you say to them as someone who's been through it themselves? What would you say to those people who are thinking about joining the program?
The proof is in the pudding. You can try everything. And the most important thing is what is actually getting you results, what's actually towing the line. So, you know, try everything. Try acupuncture, try kinesiology, try medication.
What was interesting is, like, for someone who is a Chinese, you know, you're a practitioner.
Yep.
And, you know, people often ask you, like, oh, you know, should I do this? And you're like, well, no, like, do the program to get better, but that can help.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, it's funny that, like, you've got that training and you're like, yeah, you can try all of that, but...
It's an adjunct, you know, in my experience, and this might be different person to person, but that's saying that, like, baseline is 95% of recovery. You know, maybe that 5% is going to be like, you know, say meditation, breathing exercises and acupuncture and kinesiology. But in my experience, doing that myself, taking lots of supplements and spending lots of money, you know, trying everything that I'd studied technically for chronic fatigue, including some things that were researched. For me, it didn't make much of a difference, maybe that 5%.
Yeah.
But it was baseline. And what CFS Health teaches, that actually toes the line. So that would be my advice for people trying to think on whether to join the program is, you know, experiment and see what is actually towing the line for you. Is it what you're sharing on YouTube? Is it being in the program? Is it another modality? But the overwhelming, and this is, you know, I have chronic fatigue syndrome patients in my clinic coming for acupuncture.
Yeah.
And a lot of what I'm just saying is just baseline.
Yeah.
And that's the reality. Yeah.
Dude, you've come so far. The way you live your life is just beautiful. You know, like you say you live a simple life, and you do, but it's a bold, simple life.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like you really make
It's unapologetic.
Yeah, it is bold, and like the work that you do with our our members around the world, with helping them find their baseline and progress to the areas that they want to progress in. But just the way that you go about it, with your intention, your humbleness, your gratitude, it's really felt across the world. So just want to say massive thank you. Appreciate the shit out of you. Probably shouldn't swear on camera, but you're amazing, man. And yeah, just appreciate the crap out of you.
Thank you, Toby. Thank you for everything.
Bring it in. Thank you for everything. Thank you for... You're a bloody legend.
Thanks, Toby.
Yeah. Oh, man. Bold.